Hello and welcome to Classical Numismatic Group. My name is Mike Gasvoda. I'm the Managing Director here at CNG. In this video I'd like to talk to you about what is certainly one of the most important highlights from Triton XXVIII, and that is the Brutus EID MAR Denarius, a coin that everybody's heard of, everybody knows about, and very few get to own or even handle. This coin is by many considered to be the most important ancient coin ever minted, and certainly one of the most desired. And what I'd like to do in this video is kind of give you a little bit of background about the story of this coin, because this era is near and dear to me as my own collecting interest focused around this time period. And we really have to go back to the first Triumvirate. We have to go back to Julius Caesar, Pompey the Great, and Crassus, and look at those three gentlemen in that we had two incredibly successful military leaders in Julius Caesar and Pompey, and then we had a very wealthy individual in Crassus. And Crassus was jealous, and he decided that he was going to amass an army, and he was going to go east, and he was going to take on the Parthian Empire. And he did that. And he failed miserably, and in fact was assassinated and lost legionary standards and many Roman troops while he was there. And then in the ensuing years, Julius Caesar would eventually defeat Pompey and become essentially the sole ruler of the Roman Republic. The reason that I bring up Crassus in the first Triumvirate is that if you look at Julius Caesar's coinage, you know that there are a lot of coins that were minted with his portrait in the few months leading up to his assassination. The reason for this is Julius Caesar was a soldier. Julius Caesar didn't want to sit in Rome and be an administrator. He decided his next exploit after conquering Gaul and beating Pompey the Great was he was going to go and take on the Parthians, and he was going to go get back those standards that Crassus lost. Julius Caesar was minting an incredible quantity of coins so that he had the money to pay his troops as he prepared to go do battle in the east. He was making preparations for this trip, and those that didn't like Caesar became incredibly worried that if he was able to defeat the Parthians and he was able to come back into Rome further victorious, that there was no stopping Julius Caesar. And so the conspirators decided before he left for the east, it was time for them to act. And act they did, of course, led by Brutus and Cassius. We all know the story at the theater of Pompey, ironically. They stabbed Julius Caesar to death. And in the aftermath, there is further civil war that takes place, now eventually becoming a second triumvirate with Octavian, Mark Antony, and Lepidus. But on the opposing side of that second triumvirate are, of course, Brutus and Cassius. And they flee Rome, and they go east, and they know that they are in trouble unless they can raise legions of their own, both defend themselves and hopefully win back the Roman Republic. During the latter days of their efforts, and just before they have the final showdown with Octavian and Mark Antony, Brutus mints one of the most famous coins of all history, the EID MAR Denarius. And on that coin, Brutus puts the cap of liberty in the middle, two daggers on either side with EID MAR below. And the whole point of this coin is to say that with these daggers, we restored liberty to the Roman Republic. It was probably the most direct piece of propaganda you could ever imagine to put on a coin, and he did it. And of course, we know the eventual outcome is that Octavian and Antony defeated Brutus and Cassius, and these coins became probably something that was immediately melted down to turn into money for the victors. However, over the ensuing centuries, they have slowly turned up. I think that even only as little as 10 years ago, there might have been about 100 of them known. There are perhaps double, maybe a little bit more than that known today, but it remains one of the most desirable and most exciting coins that you could ever hope to have, not just because of the daggers and cap of liberty on the reverse, but Brutus went so far as to do the one thing that he was so upset with Julius Caesar for doing, and that is Brutus put his own portrait on the obverse side. So we have the one chance to for sure know what Brutus actually looked like, and we know from the reverse side exactly what his intentions were. And I don't know that you can find a single coin that tells a more complete and more interesting story. If you get a chance to see this coin, I hope that you do stop by and take a look at it. As I said, you'll see them from time to time. This is actually an exceptional example, though. And it's one that when you get a chance to hold it, you know you really are holding history in your hands. And so that's my story on this coin. I love the type. I love the whole historical period. And I hope you get a chance to see it. Thank you for your business, and we hope to see you in New York.